Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackowitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for WWE Raw for 9/2/19. And I'm going to get right into it. You start out with Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman at a contract signing. Of course, contract signings never go the way they're supposed to. They get interrupted by the OC with AJ Styles, cutting a big promo about how Braun Strowman really doesn't deserve his opportunity, and the United States Champion should be the next in line for the World Championship. AJ then walks into the ring with the OC. He tears up the contract, at which point Braun Strowman, very, very comically, just picks up a table and flings it into AJ's face. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman destroy Luke and Carl, and that was where they opened up. We're going to went to commercial. You come back, and it's Rollins and Strowman versus Gallows and Anderson. Of course, AJ Styles is at ringside, and it goes pretty much the way you would expect it to. Braun Strowman, waiting for the hot tag. They beat up on AJ Rollins for a while, and Rollins finally gets the hot tag. Strowman comes in, AJ Styles comes in and attacks. And that's where everything starts going downhill. At first, the OC are beating down Rollins and Strowman. Rollins and Strowman turn it around. Outside of the ring, Strowman is doing his little running around the thing and charging everybody and accidentally hits Rollins. At which point, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler come down, and now it is a 5-on-2 scenario. And it would have been cool if they'd added Ziggler and Roode to the club. Now, maybe that'll still happen. Maybe they'll win the tag team championships and they'll extend the club, which I think would be a cool idea. After that, Charlie is interviewing Cedric Alexander about his match with Baron Corbin, and then, of course, the OC attack him. And that instantly sinks my heart because that means Baron Corbin's going to win his match with Alexander. I'm sorry. I'm not a Corbin fan. I cannot be a Corbin fan. And it sucks, man. It sucks that they're kind of doing the same shit they were doing a couple of months ago. So after a commercial break, you have Ziggler and Roode versus Hawkins and Ryder. You already know who's going to win this. Roode and Ziggler just had a hell of a showing last week. They're in the line for the tag team championships. Hawkins and Ryder haven't done much. So it was a decent match. But you already know who's going to win. Ziggler and Roode. No surprises. That's what happens. Then you got, to me, the worst part of the night, which is Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Now, here's why it was the worst part of the night. Natalya is literally running circles around Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is almost stationary, and Natalya is making it look like $1 million. And then at the end of the match, Lacey Evans throws a tissue in Natty's face and hits her with the women's right and gets the win. Lacey Evans is the Baron Corbin of the female division. Not talented, not good at promos, not that great in the ring. She's better than Baron Corbin in the ring, but not by a lot. She's very stiff. So Natalya spent however long they were in the ring together making her look good, and that was it. So that kind of sucked. Then you get Becky Lynch in-ring promo. Of course, she gets interrupted by Sasha Banks on the ramp. And it basically comes down to Sasha Banks challenges Becky Lynch for the title at Clash of Champions. Of course, I'm already sold on that. Think it's going to be a great match. Great idea. So they're about to cut to commercial, and then the Street Profits are like, what do you say after that bit? Talking about Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. And they got nothing. And so they just cut to commercial, which was really pointless. Like, truly pointless. I've said already that the thing with Street Profits, I like them. They're funny. They're great at promo work. But they've been doing the same thing for weeks now. It's already old. Got to do something new with them. Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander. This is a come-from-behind story. Cedric Alexander's hurt from the OC beatdown. He finally gets to a point where he gets Baron Corbin to rush his shoulder into the ring post. And then Cedric Alexander keeps ramming him into the ring post with that same shoulder. And so it kind of puts him on an even keel for a minute. So you got your hopes up that maybe they weren't going to let Baron Corbin win, but he gets the end of days anyway, and he wins. After that, you find out that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be the modder for next week because Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman are going to do contract signing again. So there you go. Charlie interviews Bayley. She's trying to get her thoughts on the Sasha Banks situation. Bayley doesn't really comment about the Sasha Banks deal. She says, we're friends, that's what it is. And then she says, why don't you talk to me about the match tonight, because she's teaming with Becky Lynch against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And so she kind of talks about that and says she's not going to be overshadowed by Becky Lynch. So then you get Viking Raiders versus a couple of locals, a couple of nobodies. And they let these two locals cut a promo, which was a horrible idea. I guess they just wanted to show people what it's like when people don't know how to cut a promo, but half the roster don't know how to cut a promo. So we know. No problem there. AKA why I don't necessarily like Baron Corbin as a character. Of course, the Viking Raiders win. One of these guys had a sunken chest. He probably weighed 80 pounds. It was ridiculous. It did nothing for the Viking Raiders. It was just stupid. Backstage, Sasha Banks gets an interview where the interviewer is asking Sasha Banks what she feels about like Bayley teaming up with Becky. And then Sasha Banks gets really hostile and says, I know what you're trying to do, get away from me, basically. But it worked because like Sasha Banks got really angry, really set a tone, and it leads into something later in the show. So I like that. Then you get Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. Really good match. Really, really good match. With these two, how could it not be? Samoa Joe, I really, really like. Ricochet is amazing. Unfortunately, they had a stupid fucking ending that really didn't make any sense, and it just pissed people off in the audience. And eventually they explained it, but still, it just... They had Ricochet on the ropes. Samoa Joe was on like the second turnbuckle. Ricochet's on the top. They do like a back suplex type of thing, I guess. And they were both just exhausted, apparently. And so both of them were laid down with their shoulders on the mat, one arm draped over the other one, both ways. And so the referee counts both of them down. And that's what happens. We'll get to the fix for that in a second. So backstage, you get a Rollins-Strowman promo, and Strowman says, I know Steve Austin's your man. He was talking you up last week. I don't want any shenanigans. Rollins says, don't worry, I'm not going to stab you in the back. I did that once. I didn't like who I became, basically. So there's that. Then Corey Graves interviews the referee who is in the Samoa Joe Ricochet match. Backstage, Baron Corbin interrupts. Corbin says, so that means both guys are out and I get a pass next week, right? The referee says, no, the decision is that both guys are going to move on. And next week is going to be a triple threat. So it's going to be Samoa Joe, Ricochet, and Baron Corbin. And there's been a lot of rumors about Baron Corbin going the distance and actually winning this. And I really hope that's not the case, because I just fucking can't stand Baron Corbin, man. He has no personality. And in that ring, he is not that great. His best move is sliding out of the ring, going around a ring post, sliding back in. And everybody always says, wow, that's so athletic. I'm a 41-year-old guy with a heart condition, and I can do that. It's not that damn athletic. It's really not. So Baron Corbin does nothing for me in the ring. Charlie then interviews Rey Mysterio backstage, and he does a promo where he's talking about how, his son, talked to him a couple of weeks ago about sticking it out in WWE for a while. His son wants to team with him, and so Rey Mysterio says, usually it's the parents helping the kid. This time it's the kid helping the parent keep his dream alive. So there you go. Decent promo. And then you have The Miz versus Cesaro. Cesaro has pulled off a couple just damn amazing matches in the last month. Actually, a few really good matches. And so I'm a huge fan of Cesaro, and I hate to see where he's at in the company. Because here, I'm sorry, he's a million times better than The Miz. He's not. Miz is a great promo guy. No denying that. But when it comes to in-ring talent, Cesaro has him by a mile. And it kind of showed in the match. Unfortunately, The Miz won. He got a skull-crushing finale. Whatever. Then you get Bayley and Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. It was a decent match. They were definitely going for it at moments. And I don't know what I expected, but at the end of the day, Becky Lynch and Bayley get the win via DQ because Sasha Banks came down, ran into the ring, grabbed Becky Lynch, hit her with a backstabber. And Sasha Banks grabs a chair, hits Becky Lynch with it a couple of times, raises the chair up again, and then Bayley grabs the chair away from Sasha Banks. And so we weren't really sure what was going to happen there, if Bayley was going to, turn against Sasha or Sasha turn against Bayley or whatever. Instead, Bayley turns heel and starts waylaying Becky Lynch with the chair. The crowd really popped on that, and I thought it was really cool. It was a good moment. The only thing that I really, really wish, it was a really cool moment. You could tell it was a cool moment. Bayley could tell it was a cool moment, though, and she could not stifle her smiles. Which, at the moment, you're turning heel, you're attacking Becky Lynch. You want it to be kind of fierce and ferocious. And so that was my only problem with it. Otherwise, it was really good. It damn sure worked. Didn't see it coming, and it was a nice moment. So, other than that, it was fine. So, overall, the show, pretty good. Pretty good. I liked it. I did have problems with it, though. Hawkins the writer, you already knew they were going to win. You don't want it predictable. Lacey Evans going over Natalya was ridiculous, especially the way Natalya went around her in circles. Baron Corbin, just don't like him. Other than that, it was fine. I think it was fine. Promos really worked. They had direction for it, which was cool. So, I would give it probably like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. And I'll say 6.5 out of 10 because there were things that just needed work. But I was entertained, and I really liked the swerve at the end. It made you want to tune in again, It made you want to find out why and what's going on. So I liked it. Very cool. So I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz, Kaged Nation.